I was just getting a bug. We didn't start yet. You look scared.
What did he say?
All right. You ready?
Yeah.
Let's rock. We got some LSU football in 3 days? Friday, Saturday, Sunday. If you count today, 3.5.
Yeah.
Either way, we're excited. Except there's a hurricane. Just sit there
be...
on looping things because, we don't have enough obstacles anyway, which we'll get into talking about the backfield. But yeah, there's a hurricane in the Gulf right now headed towards Orlando. I don't think it will affect the game.
No, it'll be gone.
It should pass before.
I mean, it'll be raining.
God willing. Yeah, that'll be nice.
Not for the game.
No.
Right?
But
yeah, it won't be nice.
It was okay. They'll be wearing their traditional gold and white unis. I know they didn't want to switch anything up. So getting ready for that season opener is exciting, but it also has some little trip ups coming along with it. We got that news yesterday that John Emery won't play. I know Armoni Goodwin is doubtful, and Joe and I are going to talk about the backfield in just a second. But before we do, make sure you hit that sub button. We're trying to grow. We're headed to Chicago this weekend to get some coverage of the AVP Chicago Open with our girls Taryn and Kristen. But in order to make sure that you guys get a lot of content, a lot of good content, we need the support. So hit that sub button, help us grow. John Emery not playing for the third consecutive season opener. What is going on? I know Brian Kelly told the media he won't play, but didn't explain why. I mean, it's been grades. In 2021, he missed the whole season for grades. He missed the season opener last year for grades. Is it again grades? I know he missed spring practice, was it?
Yeah.
Working on his academics. He was able to come back for camp. But now we find out days before, which again, maybe it's to keep the other team or FSU off their game a little bit, not know what's going on. What is going on?
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. He didn't release all the information, but I do know that out of that Onyx set that Mason Smith is being suspended for, I think John Emery had cards in there as well. Not saying that was the problem. Right. Not saying that's like why he's suspended, but given the nature of how they're handling it, I don't know. It could be a potential reason. Well,
that's the thing. When you don't tell the public the reason, here you go with all the speculation. Is he suspended?
Yeah, right.
Is it grades? Is it behavior? We don't know. And I don't know that they plan on coming out to say anything about it because I feel like Brian Kelly would have said something in the presser like, hey, he's not going to play week 1 because of this. It was just, we're proud of him, but he won't play in week 1.
Yeah, he just said he's unavailable.
Which is not great news, especially considering Armoni Goodwin is also doubtful from his injury. Do you remember what the injury was?
He tore his ACL last year.
Yeah. It's related to the ACL tear?
I would imagine.
I would imagine so.
Yeah.
So now you've got John Emery and most likely Armoni Goodwin not able to help out in the backfield, leaving you with Josh Williams, Noah Cain, Logan Diggs, Kaleb Jackson.
Potentially Kaleb Jackson. Yeah, he balled in camp. And then, so I don't know. Look, if he's a big play type of back, that is something that separates him from the rest of the backfield. So it's going to be hard to keep him off the field if that's what he is.
I've seen a bunch of different depth charts that have put Josh Williams as like RB1, but I've also seen other ones where you've got more from Noah Cain or Logan Diggs. What do you think that backfield's going to look like? Do you really even know going into Sunday?
Yeah, in terms of like depth, in like where they rank in the depth chart, no, not necessarily. But
game 1.
Yeah, I feel good about it. As in terms of like what they did last year, they're all super reliable backs. And again, if Kaleb Jackson does provide that big playability, look, even Noah Cain, there's reports of him running 22 miles an hour in practice. Like, so if he's got that top end speed now, then yeah, it could be really dangerous considering the depth we have.
Right. I think we're lucky that we have that depth because losing 2 running backs right before the season opener, a big season opener, a top 10 matchup season opener is not great, but I'm not completely devastated because of the guys that are still going to be able to play. And I am curious to see who kind of takes on that lead role in the running back room. We're going to break down the game more on Saturday, actually. Like I said, we're headed to Chicago. So tomorrow's going to be a very early travel day out of New Orleans. And we'll be at the Chicago Open covering some of that most of the day. If we can get the content or get a Valley Vision show out to you tomorrow, we will, but it's looking like it'll be Saturday. Joe and I will go through the whole preview of LSU versus FSU and give you everything you need to know, whether you're placing bets, just watching the game. We'll break that down on Saturday, so make sure to subscribe again. All right, we'll switch over to LSU soccer. I said earlier this week that they would be facing off with Wisconsin. They are on a 3-game win streak, but this is going to be a tough matchup. They left for Wisconsin yesterday, and this will be the first time they ever play Wisconsin. So there is no series history. You've got two really passionate, good teams coming off of wins. I know LSU's confidence is high right now. Again, you beat number 9 last week in Texas on the road. You shut out Southern on Sunday. So they're kind of riding a high right now, but they will have a tough matchup with Wisconsin. It's a very good team. So we'll have an update for y'all on how that game goes on Saturday as well. I do want to shout out forward Taylor Dobbles, who was named SEC Player of the Week after her performances against Texas and Southern. That's actually her first conference honor in her career, and that's because she scored 2 in that big Texas game. She put the first goal on the board to put LSU ahead, get that early lead, and then locked in another one at the end of the first half, making it 3-0. So she had a big impact on that Texas game, of course, helped out with the Southern game too. Really cool to see her get that award this past week. Congrats to LSU soccer on that win again, and good luck in Wisconsin. We are a winning program, athletic organization, right? Because, and this one, but I'll put the graphic up on the screen. LSU Track and Field. We talked about Sha'Carri Richardson, how she's the fastest woman in the world, but let's look at LSU Track and Field as a whole and how they did at the World Athletics Championships altogether, because you had Richardson, Mondo Duplantis, Juvaughn Harrison, and Vernon Norwood all receive medals at the championships. And the graphic I'm talking about is something that the LSU Track and Field account posted, ranking LSU. Now, LSU is the top college at the World Athletic Championships. But if LSU was a country, out of all 195 countries that competed in Budapest, LSU would have been ranked 3rd.
Yeah, they would have medaled. I mean, that's unbelievable.
It would have been United States, Canada, LSU.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
Now, we're not a country, so obviously that it doesn't mean anything. But come on.
Yeah.
That's insane, truly. I know all of the athletes I just named were like posting the graphic, and there's a billboard up that says like top of the world, because literally LSU is on top of the world right now, especially in track and field. So that was really cool to see, something cool to think about. I
wonder if, and I don't know the statistics on it, so I'm not going to like speculate, but I wonder if you remove the LSU players from Team USA, would they have finished higher than Team USA?
That's a great question.
I bet they would have.
Probably.
Yeah.
Because those athletes are on both teams, if you look at it that way.
Right.
That's wild.
That's crazy.
That's wild. I will switch over to LSU women's basketball. Alexis Morris was drafted in the WNBA draft by the Connecticut Sun with the 10th pick in the second round, 22 overall. She was shortly after waived or cut. I know she got on social media after that happened, and basically, well, her quote was, "If we can't make roster spots for rookies, cut the vets. The vets got to know when to cut the net and pass the torch." She's got a point. You see that way too often. We've talked about it on Bets and Breaks about how these teams draft female athletes or female basketball players from these colleges, and then they just get cut, like without ever seeing real playing time in the WNBA, which is wild to think about because you don't see that in any other. You wouldn't see that in the NFL. You wouldn't see that in the NBA. Like
late round in the NFL, late round
they
draft.
do, but not nearly as much.
It's not a 2-round draft.
That's like that's insane to me. But the good news is that she is continuing her professional basketball career in Turkey. So she'll go overseas to play for the Turkey's women's KBSL team to continue her career, and we wish her the best of luck. She was a part of that championship team, so if she can continue her success even overseas, we'd love to see it. And I do want to shout out our boy Mikey Shiaza for his killer graphics as we're talking about women's basketball. This awesome oversized sports card behind me. We've had Javian and Greg, and now we've got KP's up here, which she'll come in next week to receive for coming on the Up and In show. If you haven't seen that show, that was a really good interview. Check it out. But yeah, shout out to Mikey for your incredible work. It's sick. And if you like these oversized cards that the athletes get themselves, we have smaller ones in shop that you can buy and match your favorite athlete's sports card. So swing by Cards and Culture. Come check them out. Mikey, you're a G, dude. Yeah. He didn't want to come on camera. I told him to come over here and give a thumbs up, but he won't do it. Anyway, okay, my favorite part of the show, Tiger Tea. Okay, this one, it's not confirmed, but TikTok was going off. I know a lot of people were distraught. A lot of women, girls were distraught because apparently sources are saying that Joe Burrow is engaged to Olivia Holzmacher. That is his longtime girlfriend. They met before he came to LSU. They dated while he was at LSU. Adam Jones went on the Pat McAfee show and said that he just got engaged. But the couple hasn't come out and confirmed it. So, now to be fair, Joe Burrow is not a social media, let everyone know my business kind of thing. He did just post an old Snapchat picture of him because he's back on the field from his calf injury. It's funny. He posts funny stuff, but he never came out and said he was engaged. So I don't know. I know a lot of girls were upset about that one, but I'm going to be honest, you didn't have a chance anyway. He's been locked down for a while. And here's some more tea. This is not Tiger tea, but it's some Valley Vision tea. We have a bucked up code for y'all. So if you are super into the gym, working out, pre-workout, creatine supplements, all the good stuff, you can use code ValleyVision20 for 20% off your order at checkout. Just trying to help out the people. You know, y'all support us, we'll support you. It's kind of we got a thing going on here. So hit that subscribe button. Go get you some pre-workout. And remember, we'll be headed up to Chicago to get you some cool AVP content from our former beach volleyball Tigers this weekend. But we'll make sure that y'all get a Valley Vision and a preview of the LSU FSU game on Saturday. We appreciate y'all for watching. We'll see y'all then.